Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/divorce, where OP is finally accepting the truth. Let's begin. Am I the asshole for ruining my sister's honeymoon over what she said about my dating past? Posted by Reddit user 3awawayo.
Long post. Tend to ramble. Sorry, TLDR at end. I have one daughter, Jenny, from my ex-boyfriend. My ex-boyfriend was a man-child who I stuck myself with for 3 years, because I was convinced he would magically grow up someday as long as I helped him. I'll be honest, I've definitely had bad taste in men when I was younger. I became pregnant and 2 months after giving birth, he walked out. He claimed he couldn't take the stress of fatherhood. He didn't want any custody and now pays child support, surprisingly without complaint. My sister has been my biggest supporter. She has a wonderful husband who she's dated since high school and they have 4 kids. Something that was pretty common was when we were in our teens and 20 seconds, I'd date jerks. Then I'd run to her whenever they did something stupid or hurtful. Of course, she told me to break up with them, but my stupid younger self always ran back. She got pretty frustrated but would still comfort me. Believe me, I'm not proud and have certainly matured since my daughter was born. A couple times she would introduce me to some actually very nice guys. I even went on a couple of dates, but for some reason I only felt attracted to rude assholes with shitty haircuts. Please don't ask what was going through my head, I literally have no idea. I still feel embarrassed thinking about it. My sister and her husband got married pretty young, so they couldn't afford a nice honeymoon. Now they've been saving for years and finally booked a 2-week stay in some tropical resort. She's very happy. One of her kids is in an out-of-state college, so she didn't want to ask him to watch his siblings along with attending school. Plus, they aren't exactly rich and can't afford a long-term nanny or whatever. I agreed to watch the other kids. They're not toddlers or brats. They're well-behaved, so it's no big deal to me. I was happy to do it. After my daughter, I went on 1 or 2 dates but nothing serious. Recently I met this really nice guy at work. It was actually my sister who introduced him to me. We all work in the same huge office building, just different departments. We had some shared hobbies and started talking during our breaks. We didn't really spend more than 10 minutes together at a time. He finally asked me on a date. Strangely enough, after about 30 minutes I couldn't stop sneezing. At first I just thought it was allergy season. We went out a couple more times after that and the same thing happened. Once I accidentally took his jacket home. My daughter got sick too. I feel pretty stupid for not asking earlier, but he finally mentioned how he has 4 cats who he loves. Both me and my daughter are severely allergic to cats. Wearing fresh clothes didn't help much. Finally, after a month, I broke up with him. He offered that we could try a few different things like prescription allergy pills or something. I apologized and just said it's better if we both go our own ways. I feel awful, but the experience taught me that even though I enjoyed our time together, I wasn't so invested in this relationship that I'd go through the trouble to research different remedies or put my daughter in danger. I felt that it was best to break it off soon before we got too serious. He seemed sad but said he understood. We parted on good terms. My sister seemed a bit miffed and didn't say much. Only a couple days ago I heard her going on and on about me. I got off work early that day, which she knew. I realized I forgot something and came back. While I was at it, I decided to walk around my sister's department to pick up another file and say hello. The door to the break room was opened and I could hear a small group of women talking. My sis was saying how ridiculous it is that I keep rejecting good men for stupid reasons. That the fact my daughter has no father is my fault and I should be embarrassed. She made some joke about me being an attention seeker who spreads my legs for any man I know won't respect me. I haven't done anything like that in years. I was shocked and extremely hurt. I stormed out and texted her that I will no longer babysit her kids for the vacation. She got desperate and kept apologizing and begging to talk. I've just been ignoring her. My mom said that what she said was very wrong, but it's not fair to ruin her second honeymoon she's been waiting for so long. Mom is very old and currently has lung cancer. She is no state to babysit anyone's kids. Some of my friends mentioned that my sister did deal with my asshole exes for a long and frustrating amount of time. I should cut her some slack. She has really helped me in the past. The honeymoon starts only the day after tomorrow and I've heard she still can't find a good babysitter she could afford. I'm starting to feel bad because she seems so desperate and sad. Am I the asshole? TLDR, offered to babysit sis's kids for a second honeymoon. Ended up ending a relationship with an awesome guy who she introduced to me. I got really bad allergies to his cats and broke it off. Sis got upset and gossiped about my shitty romantic past to her coworkers. I caught her and rescinded the babysitting offer. Now she might not be able to attend honeymoon. Am I the asshole? Edit. Just to clarify, we do work in the same company. Mini update. I haven't gone back to my old dating habits for years now. I got a good professional therapist about 6 years ago and she's really helped me work through my issues that caused me to act like that. About a year into therapy, I sat down with my sister and apologized for always dumping my issues onto her, and then proceeding to not follow her advice. We even had a therapy session together where she said she forgave me. I thought it brought us a lot closer. I asked her several times about it during the next few years and she just said she had moved on and was fine. I'm not angry about how she feels, she's entitled to her emotions. I just wish that she had discussed it with me or at least tried to explain how she felt. I love her a lot and would have been happy to have a heart-to-heart. I'm just very hurt that she'd gossip and insult me to our coworkers, most of whom don't even know me personally that well. Plus, the way she put it made it sound like I was still doing that shit when she knows damn well that was years ago. I know I'm not perfect, but that crossed the line. I do regret lashing out the way I did now that I've cooled down, though I'm still furious at her. At the end of the day, she's still my sister, no matter how hurt I feel, and I want to work through this and at least try to stay in each other's lives. I'll post an update later once things have calmed down. I've decided to babysit the kids. My brother-in-law and her have planned this trip for literal years, so I believe they've definitely earned it. I love my niece and nephews and planned a few fun activities for us anyways that I don't want to miss. It's for them, not her. I guess it's good she'll be gone for the next couple weeks soon. I'll have time to get all my thoughts in order and figure out how to express what I want to say.
Look, OP, I do have to admit that what your sister did is an asshole move. It's not just that she said it, it's that she said it at your shared workplace with your mutual coworkers. So yeah, I think she's the asshole in this particular situation. But OP, you also have to realize that what she said isn't exactly wrong either. Let's be honest, man. You're a single mom in her late 30s with a very checkered dating history. You're already scraping the bottom of the barrel as is in the dating scene. You can't be so picky if you don't want to die alone. But I do agree with you breaking up with the previous dude because it's a health concern for you and your daughter. Look, OP, I suggest having a long and meaningful conversation with your sister when she gets back. Good luck. And now for today's second story. 1 week post-separation. Posted by Reddit user Tossaway.
My wife and I have been together since we were teenagers, both 40-ish now. Dead bedroom for the last several years, but we enjoy each other's company and care about each other. She's an alcoholic and I'm about at the end of my rope. We have talked about it, and she doesn't want to stop or even cut back.
By the end of this, you are going to be crying like a little bitch.
She enjoys drinking and she wants to keep doing it. Also, I've recently become about 75% sure she's cheating on me. She makes plans and visits this person regularly as they've been friends for many years. The evidence I've seen doesn't directly prove the existence of a physical affair, but it strongly implies it, and at the very least is completely inappropriate with someone she's always told me is a friend. Since we no longer have a sexual relationship, I honestly don't have the horrible feelings of betrayal and disgust that many people would, but the fact that she's been very easily and comfortably lying to me, possibly for years, is abhorrent to me. At the end of the day though, that's just some infidelity icing on the shitty alcoholism cake. She's been drinking since she got up, passed out napping most of the day, and I'm here wide awake with the dog watching TV, like why the fuck am I still doing this? I was hit by the realization that I no longer feel like I have a partner in life, taking on challenges and enjoying experiences together, more like I have this needy stranger around all the time who looks like my wife that I have to manage. Thing is, it has been going through my head for a while that I want to get out of the situation, how even if I never found anyone else, I'd be happier alone than I am babysitting a drunk every night. Having the same conversations over and over on a loop since she doesn't remember them, anxiously waiting for another shoe to drop as the addiction escalates. But I worry that our very loved pets would be a complete mess if we separated. I think that might be the only reason I haven't pushed the issue yet. That, or I'm just a fucking coward, making excuses, and petrified to say the D word to her and turn our lives upside down. If staying together for the kids is almost universally considered a bad idea, I have to assume staying together for a dog is even more insane. Yet here I am. Now for OP's first update. Last night, I finally got my thoughts together and had the conversation. I told my wife of 20 plus years that I want a divorce. For those that didn't read the original post, we have been together since we were in high school. We have been living like roommates for the last few years. Dead bedroom. She was dishonest with me about a platonic friend not really being platonic, and she is an alcoholic who doesn't want help. I've recently come to accept that I'm somewhere on the asexual spectrum, and due to that we've been sexually incompatible basically from the beginning, but fought it for a long time because we're great for each other otherwise. Despite all this, we are excellent roommates and friends to each other. We've spent our entire lives together, and despite thinking that we should no longer be spouses, I do care about her immensely and want her to be happy.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
I have been losing my mind for months at this point, knowing how hard this was going to be. I got home from work and went for a long walk around the neighborhood. Walking in that door knowing I was about to emotionally destroy my best friend was the hardest thing I've ever done. I could have just sat on the couch, and we could have watched TV and chatted like every other night, gone to sleep in our separate bedrooms, and carried on just fine like that for another 30 years, if only I could just be okay with things as they were. It's not like they were even that bad. I feel so selfish right now. It was horrible. I feel so unbelievably guilty. I asked her to put her phone down so we can talk, and I felt like she knew something awful was coming. As I'm saying the words, I can see her face contorting with grief. She didn't deny anything, she just apologized. So did I. Neither party is blameless when a 20-plus year relationship falls apart. We sat and talked for a few hours about what went wrong, just held hands and comforted each other. She did admit for possibly the first time out loud that she's an alcoholic, and maybe that will start her down the road to getting help. I hope so. Hearing her say that she has no idea what to do with the rest of her life, that she wishes she could just stop trying, that if she can't make it work with me, then what's even the point of looking for anyone else? There isn't anything that's happened in either of our lives that doesn't relate to the other person. Every story, every memory is going to be sad now, even the good times. This hurts so badly. At one point she said, "So what are we now then? Separated?" And it really hit home. That bell cannot be unrung. This is so raw right now, and I have no idea if I'm doing the right thing. I think we're going to continue living together in our house for as long as we need to figure out what the future looks like. Obviously some things will change, but after what we've been through together, I think it's okay to still be each other's support in the hardest times. Before I went to bed, we were kind of keeping it together and just talking, and I asked her if she wanted a hug, which she did, and we lost it all over again. I told her we'd get through it, and we'd figure it out together, and I don't hate her, and I want her to be happy. After a couple minutes, she told me I should go to bed. Getting up off the couch and walking away from her, not looking back while she's shaking with sobs, was possibly the worst moment of my life. I honestly don't know if my future happiness is even worth hurting someone this badly that I care about so much. I cried myself to sleep in between struggling to breathe.
Wow, like a bitch.
And that's what Frieza said.
It's safe to say we both need a few days to process our new reality and find a way forward. Fuck, I knew this would be hard, but I've never hurt like this before. I'm the initiator and have had months to think about and process this change. She's had a few hours. I can't even imagine. I can't believe I did this to her. I hate it. I hate myself for doing it. Fuck. And now, for OP's second update. I don't know if anyone really cares, but it's been so cathartic for me to post here and get my thoughts down in text. Huge thanks to anyone who's commented with support and insight. It's been awesome. So, I told my wife last week that I wanted to get divorced after 20 years married, 24 years together. It was easily the hardest thing I've ever done, the hardest conversation I've ever forced myself to have, but I'm so glad now that I did. It hurt really badly for a few days, seeing her so upset, and feeling guilty that I made my friend feel that way. But at the end of the day, we had just been friends for years now. I don't want to live another 20 years with a friend and miss out on the chance of having more. After about 4 days, I said fuck it and made an online dating profile. I don't have any expectations or wishes to jump right into another relationship, which I've made very clear. I also say right in the bio that I'm very recently separated, and not yet divorced, with a lot of logistics still to figure out. I've started chatting with a few women who seem like they would be fun to get to know better, and that's all I can ask for at this stage. A couple have been appalled that I'm already putting myself out there after only a week. And when you phrase it like I'm looking for dates less than a week after starting the process of getting out of a 20-plus year relationship, then yeah, I get that it sounds bad. At this point I'm just chatting, and the women that get it seem to get it and be okay with it. I'm very clear within the first couple messages exactly what my situation is. I gotta tell you, after spending the last 5 years being roommates with a distant, cold alcoholic, the emotional boost from talking to women who are interested and kind and excited to get to know me, holy shit, that's like drugs. It feels like the last 25% of my personality, having been locked away for years in quiet desperation, has been let loose in the world. Like a literal ball and chain was removed from my ankle and I am fully myself for the first time. It's so freeing. I can't wait to see how I feel another week removed, when we've hopefully figured some more logistical things out, and I have a better idea what the future path looks like. Also, a weird quirk I found, my ex hates kids. Like hates them. So obviously we don't have any. She's impatient and easily annoyed by them. If she's out in public and a kid cries, she physically flinches. I'm basically a big kid myself, and though I don't regret not having kids yet, I do very much enjoy hanging out, playing, and interacting with my friends and family's children. I don't know if it was a coincidence, but the first 4 women I matched with were a kindergarten teacher, librarian, middle school teacher. Well, apparently I have a type I didn't know I had. I have some friends who are childhood educators, and they're some of the kindest, most patient people on the planet. I realize that on the profiles, when the pics have resting bitch face or are trying to look all mysterious and sexy, I was like fucking pass, but kind eyes and a cute smile. Damn, I'm excited to meet some of these amazing people at some point down the road and see where it takes us. I do have plans to get myself into therapy. I am very happy right now, but I do realize this is a huge life change, and just talking through things with my divorced friends probably shouldn't be the sole source of emotional unpacking that I need to do. This emotional high might be temporary, an upswing from the absolutely brutal choice I recently made, but the feelings of confidence, freedom, and lightness are great for however long they're going to last. To anyone else who is in my situation and thinking about making a move, I can't say you need to get on it, because not everyone is the same, but for me it was absolutely the right move and I feel more and more sure of it with every passing day.
OP, I sincerely believe this emotional high that you are feeling right now is not temporary. For the first time in over 20 years, you are now allowed to spread your wings and not be a prisoner of a toxic marriage anymore. The reason you are able to easily talk to these women is because you've been checked out for a really long time now. You just refuse to admit it, my friend. You refuse to admit that you are married to someone that is making you miserable. Continue with the divorce, go no contact with her after, and explore being yourself again. And hey, maybe one day, you'll have kids of your own. Good luck, man. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch, absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.